Hello and welcome to another video. Today I want to show you how to make this card using the new Art Philosophy Cricut cartridge from Close to My Heart. This is an awesome cartridge. It's one that you must have in your collection of cartridges. One of the unique things about it is that it features matching stamps. In other words, I cut out this cupcake shape on the Cricut, and then the stamp set that goes with it coordinates and fits perfectly on the cutout shape with the stamp. So let me tell you a few things, and then we'll head over to the Cricut and cut out the shapes. First off, I used Close to My Heart's Wishes book, and if you don't have this book, it's a great book. It helps with the when you're stumped. And I used this pattern that is on page 59 in the book. And I just modified it a little bit by cutting out the shapes on the Cricut. One of the things, the stamp set, this is one of the stamp sets that goes with the cartridge. And one of the great things about it is that if you look right here on the carrier sheet for the stamp set, it tells you in small letters, which you may not be able to see it on camera, but it says 2.5 inches. So when I cut out this shape with the Cricut, I'm going to cut it at 2.5 inches, and it will match up perfectly with the stamp set. I'm also going to use this star down here on the bottom, and it's got a small 1 inch on there. So I will set my dial at 1 inch on the Cricut and cut the stars out. I have already preloaded all of my pages onto my mat, and I have added different colors for the card. And one of the things that I like to do is use a bone folder and really rub the pages or the pieces of cardstock so that they are stuck to the mat really well. I will have this picture on my blog showing you how to lay out the paper so that you can cut it the same as me, and I will give you the measurements of the paper as well on my blog so you can copy this card exactly. So let's go ahead and head over to the Cricut and cut these pieces out for this card. Okay, now we're over at the Cricut, and I'm going to show you how to cut the pieces for this card. Here is my mat that is already got the papers attached to the mat, and I'm going to push the button that says load mat. Alright, then the first thing I'm going to cut is the card base, and I'm going to use the ticket shaped card, which is right up here at the top, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select the card button, and then I'm going to select the ticket shape. And then over here in the screen, it's going to show up what I'm going to cut, the picture of the card base. Alright, and then I'm going to set my dial size, which you can see right now it's here at 2.5, but I'm going to change it all the way up till it's 5 3/4. And then I'm going to hit cut. Okay, now I have that piece, and I'm going to move down just a little bit to where the Colonial white cardstock is, and I'm going to make sure that the blade is in the Colonial white cardstock space, and I'm going to deselect the card space, and then I'm just going to use the regular ticket shape, and I'm going to press the ticket shape. But now I'm going to change my dial size down to, that card is going to end up being a little less than 3 inches wide. So I'm going to turn the dial down to 2.5, and then I'm going to press cut. Now since the front piece is exactly the same size, I'm going to move the blade all the way back to the top, And this decorative piece right here, I'm going to make sure my blade is on that decorative piece. And since it's the same size for the front, I'm going to cut, I'm going to put repeat last, or select repeat last. And it's going to bring up the ticket shape one more time. And then I'm going to cut that. Alright. Next I'm going to cut out the cupcake. And remember, the cupcake shape was 2.5 inches as that matches the stamp on the carrier sheet. So, and the cupcake is right down here, but if you'll see that it is in gray, that means you need to hit the shift button, and that will cut all the gray shapes. And here is our cupcake. And so my dial is already set at 2.5 inches, so I'm going to put cut. Alright. Alright. Now I have a cupcake. The next thing is the 3 stars, and I'm just going to move right down just a slight bit. And I'm going to push the shift button again, and then the star is this button right here. And remember, it was 1 inch on the carrier sheet, so I'm going to roll my dial back down till it reads 1 inch right here, and then I'm going to press cut. And then I'm going to slide it over just a little bit and hit repeat last and press cut. And then I'm going to move it over into some free space on my piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to hit repeat last and cut. The next thing, I'm going to hit the button over here on this side that is the unload mat. And now I have all my pieces. So we'll head back. Okay, one more thing that I wanted to show you for those of you who have a gypsy. One of the things, since I'm going to be teaching this class several times throughout the month, I have gone ahead and designed out all of the parts on my gypsy so that I don't have to move it around. I can actually stick the mat in there and hit the cut button and hit the load mat, and with one punch of this cut button I can, and that just saves time as a consultant when I'm doing this for several people. Okay, now that we have all our pieces, I'm going to put this card together for you. Okay, here's my card base that I cut out, and here is the top piece. And then I've already pre-inked all of these pieces to save a little time. And if you put the center one first, then it helps kind of line up the other ones. Alright. And then this is the extra white piece that I cut for the inside of the card for the liner. And then next up, we're going to stamp our cupcake and stars. So I have loaded on the block the cupcake stamp set, and using Sunset ink, going to ink it up really well. Cut piece. And it matches up perfectly because we cut it at 2.5 inches. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the star. And then just for a little added color, down here on the bottom, I'm going to take a sponge dauber and just add some ink to the bottom half of this cupcake. And then I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of these stars. Alright. Now I've got a piece of black ribbon. Going to tie it on the bottom of the cupcake just for a little bit of decoration. Simple knot will do. I've got some foam tape here. And I'm going to add a piece of foam tape to the back. And then next up, I have got the words that say Happy Day, and it comes from this stamp set right here, which is Blue Ribbon C1464. And if you'll notice, even though this does not come with the Cricut cartridge stamp sets, the shapes on the Cricut cartridge will actually cut out some of these shapes as well. And they also tell you little measurements that if you cut this at 1 inch or you cut this at 1.5 inches, then you will be able to use this stamp with your Cricut as well. And then I'm going to add some foam tape to these little stars. There we go. And lastly, I'm going to use Close to My Heart's new Glitz glue, and this is in silver, and this is the shiniest silver ever, so it is wonderful. And I'm just going to put little dollops, kind of like sprinkles on a cupcake. And there we go. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.